4 months, the world watched Matt Armstrong pour everything he had into bringing a destroyed Bugatti back from the dead. Every setback made the finish line seem further away. Every breakthrough brought new hope. Then came the moment everyone had been waiting for, the first real drive. It was supposed to be the reward for all the hard work. Instead, it became the moment that revealed whether this impossible dream had truly been worth it. The Bugatti Chiron per Sport originally belonged to a young man named Alex Gonzalez, a Miami-based finance influencer who claimed to have turned $100 into a $50 million net worth before his 25th birthday. He bought the purple Chiron per Sport because he wanted the rarest hypercar in his garage. Only 60 examples of this specific variant were ever built. Then he proceeded to treat it like gym equipment. Before the crash that broke the internet, Alex stood directly on the car's carbon fiber rear wing and did squats on top of it. That wing alone is worth several $100,000 at retail. He cracked the carbon fiber under his own body weight. If you're watching this thinking that sounds reckless, you are absolutely not alone. The actual collision happened on the streets of Miami. From dashcam footage and police reports that surfaced afterwards, the Chiron drove straight into the back of a small pickup truck at speed. The front end folded in on itself. The headlights shattered. The airbags deployed across the cabin. The carbon monocoque took serious structural damage. The gearbox housing cracked along its length. The insurance company assessed the damage, looked at the rebuild costs, and walked away entirely, writing it off as a total loss before sending it straight to Copart, the salvage auction house. What happened next is the kind of move only a Miami finance influencer would attempt. Alex collected the full insurance payout, then went online and bought his own wrecked Bugatti back at public auction. The hammer fell at $1.656 million. After fees, the all-in cost came to just under $1.9 million. He now owned the same destroyed car twice over, and he had no idea how he was going to fix it. That was the moment Matt Armstrong's phone started ringing. Matt is a British YouTuber from Leicester with a workshop full of professional tools and a channel closing in on 7 million subscribers. He flew to Miami, inspected the car in person, shook hands with Alex, and agreed to take on a project that the most powerful supercar manufacturer in the world was about to spend months trying to shut down. Bugatti's response was swift and cold. The factory flew an official technician from France to Miami at the company's own expense. He walked around the car methodically, measured the damage, shook his head, and delivered his verdict in a tone that sounded more like a judge than a mechanic. The carbon monocoque was compromised beyond saving. The gearbox housing was beyond economical repair. The genuine factory parts bill alone would land around $1.7 million before a single hour of labor. But Bugatti wasn't finished. Within days of that verdict, the car's unique serial number was locked inside the company's global parts ordering system. No dealership anywhere on the planet could order so much as a windscreen wiper for this specific car. Bugatti had essentially erased it from their books. The only place it could ever be repaired was at the factory in Molsheim, France, at a cost that would rival simply buying another Chiron brand new. Alex was furious. Matt was calmer on the surface, but the wheels were already turning. The two of them filmed a video together that quickly became legendary. Alex stared straight down the lens and gave Bugatti a 24-hour ultimatum: either unlock the serial number and sell them genuine parts at fair market prices, or they would start 3D printing every component themselves and document the entire process publicly for the world to watch. They wanted Bugatti to know they were completely serious. That was the moment everything changed. Because inside a quiet office in Croatia, someone very senior at Bugatti Rimac saw that ultimatum. And the man at the very top of the company didn't respond through lawyers or a PR team. He picked up his phone, opened Instagram, and started typing a direct message to a 25-year-old Forex influencer in Miami. It began with the words, "Hey man, Bugatti chief executive here. His name is Mate Rimac. He's Croatian, born in 1988, and he's the founder of Rimac Automobili, the electric hypercar company that absorbed Bugatti as part of a major industry restructuring in 2021. His public Instagram video on the subject was watched by millions within a single week. His message was measured, prepared, and at moments genuinely persuasive. He said the figures people were citing online about Bugatti service costs were exaggerated. He said the headlights weren't $174,000, they were closer to $58,000. He explained that you cannot 3D print a Bugatti monocoque or gearbox in a workshop. He said there are only a handful of places on Earth with the right equipment for the job, and only a few trained technicians capable of safely separating the rear subframe from the monocoque. And he warned that if a rebuild like this was done incorrectly, people could end up dying inside the car. Every word of that sounded reasonable coming from a chief executive protecting his brand. Until you learn his backstory. Long before Mate Rimac was a billionaire CEO, before Volkswagen handed him Bugatti, he was a teenager in a small garage in Croatia with a broken 1984 BMW E30 parked outside. He blew the engine during a drift session at a local track. He couldn't afford a replacement, so he pulled the combustion engine out entirely and rebuilt the car as an electric vehicle using cheaper, sourced components. He rebuilt that same BMW 5 separate times. He set multiple international acceleration records with it. And he built his entire global empire on exactly that principle. The principle he was now telling Matt Armstrong was completely impossible. The man warning a YouTuber that you can never rebuild a complex car in a small workshop became a billionaire by rebuilding a complex car in a small workshop. Whether you side with Mate or with Matt, that context genuinely matters. It's precisely why the comments under his video split almost perfectly down the middle. One half calling him a responsible executive protecting public safety, the other half calling him a hypocrite. Back in Leicester, Matt started pulling the Bugatti apart piece by piece. And what he found hidden inside a $6 million hypercar is going to make a lot of viewers laugh, and a lot of Bugatti owners quietly furious. You expect a car at this price point to be built entirely from bespoke components, fabricated inside some secret facility and designed exclusively for this machine. That's the image the brand sells. That's a significant part of what justifies the price tag. The reality was somewhat different. The knee airbag and front passenger airbag in the Chiron Per Sport carry part numbers shared directly with the Audi A3, the same hatchback a university student might drive to lectures. Those airbags are available online for under $50 each. The steering wheel airbag is the exact same physical unit fitted to the Aston Martin DB11. The secondary air pumps in the engine bay are lifted straight from a Volkswagen Passat. The fuse box layout inside the cabin is nearly identical to the one found in a Lamborghini Gallardo from over a decade earlier. And the accelerator pedal controlling 1,500 horsepower is a molded piece of plastic, not the billet aluminum most Chiron owners probably assume they're pressing every time they open the throttle. To be fair to Bugatti, a shared part number doesn't automatically mean an identical component. The company has spent tens of millions homologating each individual part for use in a 1,500 horsepower hypercar operating at extreme conditions. Mate Rimac made that point clearly in his own video, and it's a legitimate one. But when a viewer at home sees an Audi A3 airbag sitting inside a $6 million car, a car with a $25,000 oil change, a $500,000 4-year service contract, $40,000 tires, and $50,000 wheels, a piece of the mystique dies. And it doesn't come back easily. The work that followed would determine whether any of this had been worth it. On the fabrication side, an Irish welder named Bob handled some of the most critical structural rebuilding. He runs a small channel called The Machine Shop, and his Instagram bio simply reads, "We do a bit of welding." Bob has spoken openly about arriving in England with 70 pounds in his pocket, selling everything he owned back in Ireland, and showing up at Matt's workshop door without an appointment. A company called E3 Customs handled the interior, retrimming the seats, dashboard, and steering column in a custom purple and white scheme to match the car's exterior. The two halves of the car were rejoined using 14 titanium bolts. The transmission mount, which had 2 large tears from the crash, was welded back together stronger than the original. And then came the drive. The W16 fired. The dual-clutch gearbox engaged. The car moved under its own power. Warning lights lit up across the instrument cluster within minutes. The traction control flashed. The electronic stability system threw an error code. The airbag warning wouldn't clear. The handmade radiator began leaking coolant before they'd reached the end of the road. Coolant temperatures climbed past 190 degrees Fahrenheit before the fans caught up. Matt sat in the driver's seat with no windscreen fitted, wind hitting his face, the rebuilt car alive underneath him, and he laughed nervously into his microphone. The car drove. The car moved. After everything, the ultimatums, the locked serial numbers, the CEO warnings, the Audi airbags, the titanium bolts, it actually moved. But on that first drive, the loudest noise in the workshop wasn't the W16. It was the sound of every viewer at home suddenly wondering the same thing. Had Bugatti been right all along?